Hello, Taurus, and welcome to a combined forecast. This is both for the month of July and also August. I'll have a special spread that's going to help us look at all of the twists, all of the turns, and everything in between, so stay tuned. Before I get started, just a quick reminder that this can always be used for Sun, Rising Moon, and Venus. My name, by the way, is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and napping gently behind us is Apollo, who just came up for air there for a second. Thanks, buddy. All right, why don't we get straight into your channeled messages? Before every reading, I meditate and tune into what Spirit wants to bring forth, and I was shown a really powerful symbol. It was a spider, and I know many of you may not like arachnids, but they're really great totems. Here are some things that come to mind and how it would apply to the month ahead. First of all, spiders for me are wonderful symbols of manifestation. They know what they want, they know where they want to create their web, and then they have the patience to see it through. So the first thing that you should focus on in this 2-month period, possibly really putting the energy in July 1st, is planning. Planning, dreaming, and setting intentions. These are the seeds that will be fruitful over the course of 60 days as we're going to look at this forecast. Now, the other thing that a spider does is it listens. It listens to its instincts. It listens to the vibrations on the web. It has great eyesight, but that spidey sense is what it really pays attention to. So I would love for you to really focus on instincts and intuition this month. If something immediately feels great, go for it. If it doesn't, shift your attention elsewhere. High Priestess energy only really works if you trust it, so that trust in your innate ability to know what's right and know what isn't, that's the key to success. The final thing that I really love with a spider is, well, I guess it's maybe 2 parts. It's a great hunter, and it also knows how to clean up its messes. So whatever you want to accomplish this month, you have a really good chance of seeing it through. And if something ends up being a little bit messier than you thought, you can land on your feet. A spider every single day is going to go through that web after it's done with its meal and, clip out all of the broken pieces and put them back together. And if there's a windstorm or a rainstorm and they have to start from scratch, not a big deal. It just sets it into motion the next day. Every day is a reset. And if you can get behind the idea that you're a powerful manifester, you can trust your instincts, and each day is a reset, then you can have that sort of spider ability to manifest. I'm going to look at the cards here and see where some of the manifestation moments may be coming through, if there's any messes that you need to clean up, and everything else that we just talked about. All right, everybody, let's take a moment and close our eyes, clear out any thoughts that might be present so that, just as we talked about a moment ago, we can bring in the energy of a clean slate. On the next inhale, imagine that you're tracing a circle of light around your body, and you're welcoming in that sense of being safe and connected to Source, also welcoming in the angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, I'm going to just set all the cards up, and then after we get through the catalyst, I'll walk you through this new sort of design that I've created for this new style of reading. All right. All right, let's begin with your catalyst. This is such a powerful first card here. We have the Hermit Crab with the message growth, trust, and security. The card, as you can see, is reversed. And because it's a Hermit Crab, it's analogous to the Hermit itself. The Hermit sometimes will shroud itself in, a protective shell. Sometimes it will kind of put its face in the books, or it will pull back from social engagements so that it can basically focus. But there does come a point where that energy of immersion is like enough is enough, basically. So it feels like you're more ready or prepared for something than you might imagine. And like the Hermit, it's time to show your insight, to share your knowledge, and again, to come out of your shell. In fact, the word growth here is absolutely connected to this crab because in order for them to be able to continue living and growing, they have to find another shell. So this could represent a time where you're deciding to upgrade or move or expand because that's all part of this sort of totem. And then we have trust and security. In order for that to happen, trust your instincts. That's why we were talking about the spider. And find a place where you feel a sense of being safe. That safety can be a group of people. It can legitimately be an environment or a place that you're spending your time and your energy. Whatever for you constitutes that energy of safe, that's going to be the first thing that you want to focus on so that we can set everything else in motion in this spread. All right, let's talk a little bit about the new spread that I've set up for this special 2-month period. All right, to the left, we have all of the energy of July. To the right, everything for August. This is karma, this is destiny. We have connection between the 2 months, a potential block, and then highlights as well. Let's get started with your karma. We have the 3 of Wands. It's in the reverse position. This is nevertheless one of the best cards that you can get. Why, you might ask? Because it tends to carry with it a level of immediacy. I like that she's really active. Compare this, if you will, to the traditional 3 of Wands. He's passively looking at things from afar. She's basically just going for it. She's meeting opportunity where it's at. And I really like that. Meet opportunity where it's at. Another thing that's coming through like in real time here is if you can see it, you can do it. If you are instead thinking could have, should have, would have, or it's never going to happen, you're closing doors before they've had a chance to open. One area that might be challenging this month is there might be something that you have to go back and address. So 2 or 3 steps forward, maybe 1 step back, a slight adjustment, delay, recalibration, but then you move forward. Just like the spider, each and every day has to go through, clean or clear or adjust something, then it's set. Don't kind of get in your headspace too much with respect to that. Take that step back, address it, and then all is going to be well. Here's the other thing. In order to be able to see what's available, you could think of taking a step back in the figurative sense. I want to get a higher perspective at what's going on. And that's where the traditional card has a slight benefit. Because from this vista, he could easily turn to the right, to the left, behind, up. He can see it all. Do whatever you need to do this month to get that higher perspective, particularly if you're feeling like, okay, am I treading in the right direction? How much of a setback is this? I don't really feel that it is. I just think that you're clearing or cleaning something which was part of the channeled messages, and then you can make up for lost time. All right, now we're going to focus on the energy that is coming into the month of July. We'll look at past influences first. So in mythology, this is like a diva, something that can be in multiple dimensions at once. But the message today is don't overextend yourself. Instead, ask yourself, where can I make the biggest impact? And then let that help you choose what to focus on, because July will be busy. It's going to be much more favorable if you can find a way to have a calm and neutral mind, to not immediately react, but instead to sit with something and think, have I heard everything that I need to? How do I feel about this? And then act, okay? And then also, we talked about the importance of setting an intention or planting a seed. So she's kind of thinking strategically. I'm gonna put a little bit of this here, and I think after that, I'm gonna do that. So she's plotting all of that out, and it would be really good this month to set aside time for planning, because I'm getting a lot more of that with the Temperance card. She does put 1 foot into the water, so there's always a testing. Before you do something major, test your emotions, test the room, test how you feel, and see if it all aligns to your expectations, then and only then move forward. Beautiful energy overall. It's also one of the angelic cards in tarot, so you are being guided, you are being sort of positioned in the right space, but it's important to tune in to hear all of that. All right, let's look at what's coming through for the present energy in July. You can say no. Justice reversed is simply that. This isn't right for me. I don't want it. No. All of those things are important. Creating boundaries, asking important questions, they're also part of this card. If there's anything that has kind of like legitimately come through that is imbalanced or is an injustice, this is about standing up for what's right and correcting, course correcting, fighting for something like from a legal perspective, highlighting something that goes counter to what has been agreed or what is fair. You should and could and hopefully will kind of like say no to any and all of these things and rectify, rebalance, and make sure that, again, you're getting what you need and you deserve. That sword in reverse can just be a pen on paper saying, this isn't right, okay? There may be something that you want that isn't in your life, and justice comes through to help you articulate, I need more. And that nicely aligns with the future presenting energy as we're looking at July. We have the Five of Pentacles, which is not enough. And there could be a relationship in your life. There could be actual legitimate pay where it's coming through and it's not enough. Something may just be out of balance. That's why justice was right before that. On a more sort of like symbolic level, as we see here, this is someone who had to count on themselves because no one else was in the picture. Typically, we see two people here, but I kind of like the way this is. She's finding her own light, her hermit energy, because we just looked at that. If you look at the hermit, it carries its own lantern, right? He found his spark, he found his power. She's starting to do the same thing. And you had as your totem a hermit or a hermit crab. So this energy is very much from the past, a feeling of, I had to do it because someone else didn't or no one else would, so I'm the one that I can lean on. But sometimes that closes doors. She's right in front of a place where there would be doors and windows of opportunity. So see yourself now in this moment as worthy, more worthy than you might imagine. And you do not have to accept less, particularly when it comes to the way people treat or view you. So in a relationship, you should feel like you're on the level. Even, equal, okay? And if not, this isn't the right opportunity, the right relationship, the right door for you. Don't be afraid to speak up if you need or want something this month, especially if you need to find a better balance. And that is going to help you overcome the Five of Pentacles. If you've been working too hard, which can definitely be what the Justice card in reverse can represent, take care of your health, because this can indicate a cold, flu, usually not full-on burnout, but just the body shutting down a little bit to say, you need to take care of yourself. All right, here in the position of the takeaway this month, we have the amazing Magician. Very happy to see this. So over the month of July, you're being aligned for your inner magician, which helps you manifest. It basically requires faith and focus, which I think could be two of the biggest challenges based on some of what we're seeing here. So faith in your ability and trusting in that ability and feeling secure in your ability. So really just working on self-confidence, which also is one of the things that the Five of Pentacles brings forth, because sometimes you don't get the support, the reassurance, the care that you need when you need it. But guess what? You've always had the power. You're tuning in today. The message from your guides today is trust in that power and make a wish. Set a goal, set an intention, set it into motion. Another thing that the magician needs to sometimes do is not overextend, because it has all of the tools at its altar, but sometimes that can feel overwhelming. So the Temperance Angel came through to help you. One step at a time, one breath at a time. The tendency is to want to be everywhere at once, but start first with a single step, okay? Once you set things into motion, it will create its own trajectory, its own sort of newfound balance, and that's going to help you accomplish what you want and what you need. I really love that we have the Three of Wands and the Magician. Whenever the Three or the Two of Wands is connected with this, or even the High Priestess, then not only can you create, but you can also see it. So trust in yourself and take time to look around. As I said earlier, I think it's important to kind of combine these two things. You know what you want, but you have to get out there and up there to look around. Take a step back, get a bird's eye view, look in all directions, because it's happening now. This is the month to create some traction and some movement. All right, let's see how everything is connected between the two. Can't ask for something better than this. We have the World connecting July and August. The World card is reversed. Ultimately, the World is your dreams coming to fruition. It is a card of expansion. In business, this is the ability to launch, to be able to reach new goals and dreams. In your life, it can be a physical move. It can be finishing an important phase of life like graduation or retirement or birth. Typically, it's very positive and it's about opening up. So don't close a door before it opens. Don't stop something before it has a chance to even show up. Ask yourself this month, why not? Or how? Those are the two words that will help you connect with your magician. Why can't I have this? Why not? How can I make this happen? When will I make this happen? All in the affirmative, all in the expansive way of thinking. And if something happens now and it's better than you thought, reach out and say, yes, thank you, instead of, why me? Why not you? So I think I'm helping you hopefully overcome any sort of disbelief, because when we have the magician or we have the high priestess, they need to believe in themselves for the magic to work even better or even faster, okay? If you're open to a move or to meeting someone from a different part of the world, that could also be advantageous. The world, of course, is nicely married to the Three of Wands, which I had just brought up here a couple moments ago, because we see on this ships representing an exchange of energy from different places. So you may have travel, a couple of trips that are coming through between these 2 months. There could be a decision to really take a leap and bound in a new direction. No matter how you look at it, this is very, very positive energy. Whatever slight struggle is going on between Justice and Five of Pentacles quickly becomes overcome, and it looks like some cool things happen. By the way, I mentioned 1 step forward, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's what we have going on here, because this is the final card and this is the penultimate card. So you may have to go back and adjust something a little bit. You have both justice and judgment here. So we're looking at the fine print. We're making sure that you feel okay. Then and only then should you move forward, okay? Let's, before we get ahead of ourselves too much, let's take a look at your potential block. Sometimes the Three of Cups can represent gossip. If people are gossiping about someone else and you are present, walk away. Or even better yet, say, stop, this doesn't make sense. You know, this isn't how we should be talking. Even if they think you're a prude, you're not going to be involved in something that's going to get back to that person. You're going to look better because you stood up for what's right. But if you don't want to have that conversation, just walk away. Don't, however, gossip. Be mindful of anything that you have agreed to keep quiet. So let's look at like intellectual property, for instance. If you're working on a project for a company and you've signed a non-disclosure, be mindful of who you talk to. Someone might have loose lips. When we're looking at people in your life or in your family, this can be someone that tries to insert themselves in a situation that they shouldn't. Maybe they're from your past. It could be a past friend or lover. It could also just be a family member that thinks that they have something to say about something that they're not involved in. And so boundaries are really important. That's what Justice was doing. Just say, thanks, but I'm good on this, or I'm really not looking for your feedback. Sometimes we just have to say that. I know what I'm doing. I appreciate your concern, but I'm good. This is a fun interpretation of it. You might find love, and the love could take your focus for a bit. And it's not going to stop things, but it could slow things down a little bit. So even with, this is a very positive card anyway, so we just want to focus on bringing everything into balance. So don't go overboard in any one area. And that's the final message here is this can be a card of partying and frivolity. So yes, I want you to have fun, but everything in moderation, all right? Now let's move into the energy of August. So this is really interesting. Judgment coming through in the past. Something's already been set into motion. We saw that with these cards here. So this could be a legal decision. This could be a formal announcement. This represents you and your sort of ability, if I can get the graphic up, you and your ability to accept it. So we're looking at the past. It's happened, or it's happening. You now decide, how do you feel about this? Not how are you going to change it, because sometimes it's already been done. It's like, what's the next step? So letting the past be the past, allowing it now to inform what you want and how you want to move forward. Are you aligned with what's happened? Do you feel safe and secured and trusted in this space? Do you feel like you could grow in this space? And if not, it's time to move up, to move on, or to move out. That's the World card. Once you've made your mind up, am I staying or am I going? Everything falls into place. If we look at a more traditional version of the card, you can see that it represents souls rising up from the dead, reinventing, reimagining, and reforging themselves like the phoenix from the ashes. In short, this is a period during which you do not need to, nor should you probably rinse and repeat what's happened before. It's time to turn a new page, to create a clean slate, to go through that spider web that we were talking about, snip out the pieces that no longer serve you, and start fresh. That's what judgment allows. There could be an attachment to the past, and this sort of like stubbornness, but I don't want to. Take some time until you can get past that sort of, for those of you that are feeling it, that stubbornness, that disbelief, or that friction, mental friction of like, why now? Why me? But what it's really saying is rise up because there's something better. This is also a call to action. And what we also see in this is someone like up in the clouds being able to see the next step. So there's a lot of messages this month, as we're looking at August in particular, around the horizon. Even in the past, we're being asked to not look at the past so much, but to celebrate what it's taught us, and then to rise up and look ahead, okay? One last message, and then we'll get into the next card, which is, what is it that you want? What is it that you want to be doing? We spend the early part of our lives aligning to everybody else's judgments and decisions and paths that they line up for us. Right here, right now, ask yourself, am I happy? What's on my bucket list? What have I yet to accomplish? Which one of these things do I really want to put my intention and power behind? Because the magician shows me that you can make it happen, and judgment tells you that it's okay to reach out, to trust yourself, and to try something new. All right, let's move into the present energy for the month of August. For the present energy, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. In the upright position, he's kind of carrying the weight of the world on his back, and there may have been too many responsibilities on your plate over the past couple of months. By the time August comes around, it's increasingly important for you to delegate, to pull back a little bit, and to ask for help if you need it. This is a very paternal card, and when I'm looking at it from you and how people are kind of approaching you, they could be taking more than they're giving, and we actually saw a little bit of that energy here. So you're going to even the scales, you're going to stand your ground, you're going to rise up and do something different, and this will help you have more than enough, because that's really what I'm hoping comes through for you. Briefly looking at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, you can see that it represents more than enough. He's literally being covered in the vines, right? So, like I said, people might be taking advantage of your generosity. There may be a one-sided relationship where one person's giving more than the other. And we just want to make sure that whether it's time, energy, attention, whatever resource might be there, that ultimately there's an equilibrium by the end of August. You have more potential than you might imagine to make something happen. Whenever we have one of those parental cards like the King or Queen of Pentacles reversed, it's also just saying, let it go. Now is the time to birth, to release, especially with the World card, just a couple of steps before. Also, we have another indication of like a hermiting energy. So the King of Pentacles is like a tortoise or a turtle here, and it's kind of like he's hiding there and just coming out. So we need two cards in a row. It's like come out of your shell, show your insight, show your power and your potential. Only you can decide when and if to do that, but it feels like the time is now. In the future position, we have something that isn't what it seems like, the Seven of Swords. There could be a person in your life that is testing your boundaries and limits, and you just have to stand up and say, no, that's not what we talked about. In fact, leaving the camera down for a second, Justice would swoop in here again and say, no, this isn't what we talked about. This isn't how it's laid out. So you circle it, you send it back and say, try again. Another message that I'm getting with this is, it's okay to give a person a second chance, but if they keep acting a fool, if they keep projecting the Seven of Swords energy, I think 2 chances is enough, basically. So fool me once, like shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Because now I'm not seeing the pattern. Now I'm not looking at this and understanding that you're not ready to do the work. So you can give someone a second chance, but past that, it's a pattern, and it's a repeating pattern. For your health, this is about getting real. So sometimes we have a tendency to be our own worst enemies, and we'll just put off a necessary doctor's appointment or change in our, sort of like approach towards health, whether it's how we eat or how often we exercise, etc. And this is just saying, the universe will help you when you're ready, but not until then. And only you can change you, and only that other person can change themselves. So in love, relationships, contract, and life in general, don't sweat this kind of energy with someone else. It's their path, it's their choice. But you don't want to overinvest either, okay? Just keeping it real with the Seven of Swords. The way to rise up is to lead with integrity, honesty, and to be as straightforward as possible, because believe you me, that Justice card would swoop in and just say, I don't think so. And also there's a heightened visibility right now where I don't think it makes sense for you to be connecting with that either, because everything is trying to get you to come out of your shell and into the star energy. And you have to kind of clean out some of this. So if there is a revelation that someone is emanating this energy, it's coming through as a blessing so that you don't invest too heavily in that moving forward. Let's look at the takeaway for August, and then we'll go to destiny. So your takeaway is pretty powerful. We have a Page of Pentacles. Now there could be an offer on your, sort of like symbolic table. Someone could be saying, I'm interested in you. What do you think? There could be a new job, new love interest, a new connection coming through. Your financial situation could be turning around. Resources, time, energy, money could also be just upgraded. That's why we got the World. Moving on, moving up, moving out. The big takeaway for like the 2 months, not just this, like that's why this is the apex of this. It's expansion. So we have the power fueling the expansion in the form of the Magician. And then we have what it's all adding up to here with the Page of Pentacles. So you're going to bring in more opportunity, more resources. The power of 3 is actually in this one, because we have, what are these, elk or something? But we have a couple of animals and then the page itself. And basically, teamwork makes the dream work. And it's almost like the 3 of Pentacles coming through on this one. So teamwork, education, learning from the past. I feel like at the end of this 60-day period, you're going to be, your feet will be on solid ground. You'll have more opportunities in front of you. And much like the spider, you will have been able to clip out a few things in your life, namely this feeling of maybe lower self-esteem. Also, anything in your life where it's zapping more of your energy, because that happened twice. So we want to make sure you're getting enough. You're not over-delivering or having people take too much too often. And you're standing up for yourself. As we hear like sirens in the background, this Justice card would kind of be like that. It's sounding the alarm and saying, that's not enough. We need to make this work out. The other thing that you're getting rid of, and I think it's a good thing, could be this energy of the Seven of Swords. All right, now let's talk about what's coming through as your destiny card. For destiny, we have basically an encouragement to get out of the nest. The Four of Pentacles is the devil that you know, that sense of holding on to something long after it serves you. Typically, that fourth pentacle is in front of the heart, and so we know that it's time to move on from something, but it's there, it's predictable, we perceive it as safe, but imagine, if you will, a bonsai, the tree, and basically what a bonsai, I don't know what you would call it, but like a gardener that takes care of them, they have to go in there and prune the roots, trim the tree, and keep it in a small enough pot so that it doesn't grow. It's stunted. And that is ultimately the energy of the Four of Pentacles. It's not enough. It's barely enough to kind of grow and sustain. So what we see here is one last nudge from the universe to not go in that direction. And if anything, to let the heart open up. I'm not worried about this because it's so far out. This is beyond the 60-day. This is where you're headed. It is absolutely malleable. So it's time in this period of history for you to open the heart, As we saw multiple times in this spread, come out of your shell. Don't feel like you have to carry the weight of the world. Don't allow others to take more than they should. Instead, create a balance. And these two are interesting when you get justice and judgment together in a spread. Let's break it down before we go any deeper. Justice is the making of the decision. Judgment is the acceptance of it. You make a decision, but you're still sitting with it around the first week of August. And it feels like middle of July, the decision's coming together, and the first week of August, you're still sitting with it. The minute you accept it, things expand. It could happen at any point, but for whatever reason, I'm being shown those 2 points here on the chart here or on the table. So I would encourage you to pay less attention to what others think, less to your fear that, will I be enough? Will this be okay? Maybe this is all I'm capable of. No, you're not. You're capable of more. So we have fear, gossip, and then acceptance. And those are the things that are holding you back. Here are the things that are lifting you up, though, because you know I read all. The things that are lifting you up, karmically, you've done the work. So the minute you accept and surrender, growth happens. And that was actually the very first card, growth, trust, security. You're safe. The growth is ready. Are you ready? Are you ready to surrender to the next thing that wants to come through? What else is helping you? You are the magician. You have the capacity. You have the skills. At the end of the 60-day period, we have something manifesting. So it's good. Just emotional resistance. That's all I'm picking up on, Taurus. And because I have a Taurus placement, mine is in the moon, I understand the need to be secure, the need to be right, the need to have it all lined up sometimes. But if you let it go, it could be a really exciting journey for you. Letting go of the need to be perfect and the need to have it happen in a certain time, place, shape, or form, and just trust that you're going to be provided for and supported in this next leg of the journey. Let's expand this. We're going to look at health, wealth, and love, and hopefully this will help give you that sense of everything that we talked about here, trust and security, so that you can make the necessary growth happen in your life. Okay. So we're looking at health, wealth, and love. Okay, we're going to start off first with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. I was waiting for her to come through. We have the star. Why, you ask? Because we have so much hermiting energy, and the hermit is the segue to this. Even though it's not this sort of like numerical next step, the hermit carries that star. If you look in his lantern, it's there. So the star is the next logical leap for him to make. So you've been carrying this torch, you've been carrying this insight. Now is the time. This is a spiritual growth card. So one thing that can help you, because we're looking at health and well-being, would be an activity in your life that allows you to tap into your connection to spirit. Maybe it's singing, maybe it's art, maybe it's writing, maybe it's going deeper into a spiritual practice, whether that's yoga, something religious, meditation, metaphysics. You get to decide. Also, as you get more aligned to what feels right to you in your life, everything just starts to fall into place. And that big star is like a pentacle in the sky too. That means that you're going to just feel like everything, including opportunities, start to kind of like rain down on you, and that's a good thing. All right, now let's look at each card and see what other things might be coming through specifically from a health perspective. The first thing that I'm drawn to here is the bare feet in the Five of Pentacles. Typically, we see a person on crutches here. Suffice it to say, your ankles, your feet, your legs may need a little bit more love and attention than usual. If there's anything going on in that area of your body, obviously work with a healthcare professional. This is an emotional card too, coming from wounds from the past, typically at school or with parents. And again, it's like a bruised ego. These two are connected, not just because they follow each other, but because this kind of reinforces that you're not enough, and then this makes you feel like you're stuck. And they're emotional cards that can be helped with a counselor. One is more like, again, pain from the past. The other one could be just career coaching. But you can actually do some of the work yourself, which is to know, I've always carried the light and the spark. I am the star. All I need to do is decide that I want something more and just go for it. What have I got to lose? So finding that boldness from within and leaning into something new, because it does feel like there's been an awakening or a reckoning somewhere that it's time to move on. It's just the acceptance piece. It's like you haven't pressed send on the email or the text to make it happen, but I see everything aligned here. So you might be deciding to get out of a relationship, to move to a different city, state, country, or province, to leave a job, and maybe to start something brand new. Those are all career things or like expansion things, but they're affecting the emotions. So you are supported when you're ready to make this. The sooner you make that, the sooner life starts to feel a little bit lighter energetically. King of Pentacles, when I'm reading from a health perspective in reverse, is overdoing it. Working too much, eating too much, exercising too much, whatever your vice is, too much. Temperance is the other end of the spectrum, moderation. So everything in moderation, don't take on more than you need to. Pay attention to the lower extremities. Work and money should come into balance. Ask for support and help if you need some in that area. All of the big anchors for these 2 months are powerful. Things are manifesting faster than you think. You have 2 cards of manifestation, and we have an upgrade, a major upgrade from that 4 of Pentacles here with the page. Sometimes once you ask, you might be surprised you're going to receive something, but you never know until you ask. So ask for some help, ask for some resources, lean on someone if they're willing to help. You may need to get out of your house, your office, the car, whatever is kind of like closing you in, because these are very closed cards with all of these shells and these sort of protection around them. And the star is the opposite. It's just out there in the open. So it feels like a place where you can breathe and be free, very much a part of this. Overall, it's pretty good. The emotional stuff, I can't kind of help you with that. You can find resources in your life. I'm just highlighting what it is that you can work on. For everyone else, easy does it. Sometimes less is more, and temperance is about taking one step at a time and not feeling like you have to be everywhere at once or everything to everyone at once. Even though we see a little bit of this in this card, she's really weighing out, what do I want to do? Where do I want to make this happen? Speaking of that, let's go into wealth. Let's look at your resources, your life purpose, and your career. We have a fantastic card here for wealth, the 10 of Wands. Typically, we see someone leaning forward, feeling the sense of burden, not in this card. We actually see it growing from an experience from the past, very nicely connected to judgment, which is rebirth. That's why I feel heartened, excited, emboldened by whatever it is you want to do next. Because it does feel like you're on the precipice of completing, launching, or releasing, or stepping away from something, and whatever's next is better. It's different, but it's also better. And that's the freedom, is you don't have to keep doing the same thing. When that pressure is gone, then you can really expand, then you can really grow, then things get exciting. Let's begin with those of you that are presently employed. Here's the thing. There may be a lot going on. The traditional 10 of Wands shows you that delegation is going to be important, taking a step back, not overworking. If you do overwork, then we see one of the potential outcomes is the 5 of Pentacles, which again can be a cold or flu or just feeling that sense of being exhausted. Plus, there needs to be more resources coming in. Ask for help, support, or more money or something like that. You can make a case if you're legitimately that overloaded, okay? Or overwhelmed, I should say. What I like about the month of July here, the ability to make anything work. The Magician is really resourceful. The ability to see things that others can't. So your innovative and inspirational energy is very valuable. You actually might be able to solve a problem like limited resources, come up with a creative solution. It might take a minute for people to get on board, but it's worth kind of like serving up that idea. It's important to have boundaries. You don't have to do everything, nor should you. It will hold you back from being able to go farther in the long run. Faster is not important. Think about the long-term goals, okay? And say no when you need to. What I really like about August is it feels like things come into focus. People see your value, they reward it. There may be a new opportunity that's opening up for you. There is some level of like disbelief, which we have addressed. So if you've worked hard for something, lean into that. The one thing that you want to be mindful of is something that looks too good to be true, or someone that's acting foolishly, or gossip. We want to walk the high road. And if something isn't working, highlight it, call it out, and make sure that you're not a part of that, or you're an agent of change to remove that. That's really the only thing here that could take away some of the shine and luster of what I'm seeing. If there was a setback, this version of the Ten of Wands is saying, how can we grow and level up from that? There is no failure as long as you're learning and growing from it. Using your voice and speaking up. We don't have a lot of knights. We don't have a lot of swords cards. Like we have that, but that's not the one I'm looking for. So communication could be improved in this period, and that's why all of these coming out of your shell energies exist. So don't be afraid to come out of your shell and share your perspective. It is valuable, and not only that, it's really necessary right now. Overall, pretty good growth potential. There are some people that either are cheap or they're holding back a little bit. So do some digging and see if there aren't some hidden resources or hidden allies that can help you accomplish what you're trying to. I like what I see overall. For entrepreneurs, there's actually a lot of very specific information that's coming through. One thing here is the 5 and the 4 of Pentacles. Some of you are trying to absorb costs and not pass them on. There's only so long that you can do that. So if you are in that category, it's going to be important eventually to communicate why there might be a need, why you might have to change either your price point or your overall offerings. So maybe let's say you have a service that involves how much time you spend with someone. You could charge the same, but pull back how long the appointment is, for instance. If it's a product, though, usually it's going to have to be like the actual price that's adjusted, or maybe it's the size, something has to give. And it really should you should make your mind up during the first month. So we want to set that into motion by August. So you have like 60 days to create balance, to communicate it. And it feels like like at the end of this, you're going to be in a much better position. And I think that there might be special ways that you can say thanks to people that have been great customers, etc. But you can't shoulder all of the financial burden. So I'm just going to put that out there for you. The other thing is there could be an employee that needs to kind of be more in alignment with what it is you're trying to do. They're either slacking off, or they don't want to be there, or maybe they're just doing something wrong. That has to be addressed. There could also be a customer that is causing a little bit of a stir. And the thing with the customer is, I don't think it's an actual, I think you're right, not them, but you have to address this from a place that's going to make sense for the business. Sometimes it's better just to make that customer happy. Issue a refund, issue, whatever you need to make that right. But also keep track of everything. Receipts are important this month for your taxes, for things like this. Keep everything in writing, and that is going to help you in case you ever need to make a case for something. Overall, the big message here is you have something that people like. Your product, your service, your brand. The takeaway cards are amazing. Magician and Page of Pentacles. The challenge is time, energy, and resource. The decision is to create better balance in the organization, and you'll be able to make it work. It's just sometimes some tough decision making in order to sustain the business, because you have to rely on yourself. You have people relying on you that are working with you and for you. So yeah, balancing the bottom line. But it can be balanced. It's just a matter of reworking a few things and communicating in a way that people understand, that it's not just arbitrary. That's the big takeaway. Oh, aside from all of this, there could be an offer on the table for some of you to buy or sell. So if you're trying to merge with another company, sell your company, I see that. Don't accept the first offer. Maybe not even the second. It feels like it's below what it should be. Fight to get the value of your company if you're doing that. One last thing, by the way, in about 3 months, things start to get even better. I do feel like we saw here at the end of 60 days, the page. I bet if we were to go out one more month, we would start to see some increased stability. Moving on to job seekers. It's an interesting 60-day period. In the month of July, there could be either something where you get a no or you decide to say no. I think it's a benefit to you, because it's either the 5 of Pentacles could be low work morale or low pay or low benefits. Something about this wasn't balanced, but you may find something else in that sort of general vicinity, or maybe they come back to you with a better offer in the long run, because that's what I saw here is okay, why don't we try this again? And we do have King of Pentacles and Judgment like side by side. So don't accept the first offer. August looks a lot better for you overall. There could be 2 offers on the table, 2 good ones, one that's so-so. So I'm really feeling heartened and optimistic about August. And I think the important thing here is to have a clear point of view when you're interviewing and applying. People are looking for that. Judgment and Justice reverse is kind of like cutting through all of the nonsense. One thing that I remember when I used to work in corporate environments was, it was corporate speak. I don't know what else to call it, but like all of these platitudes and generalities that didn't mean anything. People just talk about leveraging this and doing that, but like you would listen to someone create word salad for like 30 minutes and walk away from a meeting not knowing exactly what they talked about. So if you have an interview and you have a chance to really specifically address some questions, some core sort of skills that you bring to the equation, and just show that you're level-headed, that's going to bode well. There's so many people right now that are job seeking that are doing that word salad, and it just doesn't make sense. The last message for you is, it's not about how many places you apply to or how often. It's about the quality of those sort of applications, so less is more. Students, all right, a couple of notes here. The biggest opportunity for you to take care of yourself is in July. There may be too much going on, either at school, at home, extracurricularly speaking. And so balance is here, and saying no is here to help you out. Health is really important. We usually talk about that like to everyone else. For you, I feel like it's stress management, because if we go to the traditional version of this is someone who's dealing with a lot on their plate. So stress management, and then just good health, physical health, diet, exercise, take care of yourself. That's your focus in July, because even I feel like you're working hard and you're gaining a lot from that, but the health aspect, or how much is on your plate, that needs to be dealt with. We have an expansion card here, so some of you are getting ready to graduate. The world can also be a decision to, if you're a new student looking for a university, maybe you're going to go to a different country or a different state, something away from where you live, in order to expand your horizon, and I like that. There may also be a decision here to change up the program a little bit. Different minor, different major, tweak it a bit. That's fine. You have to do a cost and time and energy analysis on this and think, there's going to be a little bit of a loss. So not everything is going to transfer if you do that, I'll be honest. But if you're happier and you think you'll thrive, then that's the right choice. But be willing to kind of like, it could be the loss of a semester, for instance. Like some of the credits will have to be redone, and the money is just, it's done. So if you're looking to do that kind of a transfer or change, you'll have a surplus, a little bit of things that don't align with the new major, but sometimes it's the right thing to do if it's what you want. Keep your promises, and only connect with other people, particularly if it's a partner that also does the same. Otherwise, it's a good spread here, okay? Self-care is the main thing that I want you to focus on. Retirees, a lot of concern over money for retirees. And there might be something in your life that you just have to kind of like cut out, whether it's, for some of you, it might be the degree of traveling that you've been doing. It could also be this. So this is very paternal, and there may be hands that are always open, people coming to you asking for, a loan or for some help or for some of your time, but they don't come back and they never pay that back. So make sure that you're not extinguishing what you've worked so hard to create. It's great to be loved, it's great to be appreciated, but also give and take. Whether or not you're looking for love, I actually see some of that new love and new friendship coming in, and a chance to try something new, to level up a little bit. Your challenge could also be in health and well-being, so take care of yourself, just like I was talking about with students. All right, let's move on to love, which is all aspects of relationships in your life. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Speak up, speak out, speak often, and be direct and to the point. By the way, I love that it's kind of cutting through the web, which we were talking about. If there's something that doesn't serve or suit you, just enough is enough. Like get to that point. And that's what this is about. All right. If you're in an existing relationship, for those of you that aren't yet married but have been together for a while, justice reversed and judgment reversed, it's the understanding that maybe things have played their course, and it might be time to move on. There is a decision, make it or break it. Don't make it an ultimatum. Just ask your partner if you need to. Say, where are we at? If you want it to be exclusive, say, I'd like it to be exclusive. If they say no, say, thanks for letting me know. And then you don't waste your time. And they might be surprised that you're not trying to stay with them, but there's something better waiting for you. And you shouldn't second guess your value or worth. This is about staying in something longer than it feels right or needs to be in your life. So that's one thing that I see. You have to make sure you're on the same page, and if you're not, don't force it. Or give yourself some time and space to explore other things. And that's kind of what the Three of Cups is about for those that have been together, but it's not going anywhere. Then it's time to have that chat. Okay, for those of you in a loving relationship, here's what I see. There could be some financial challenges and some health challenges that are making it a bumpier road. I do see that you're going to be able to get past this, but what's important here is time together. So the Three of Cups and the World card are very loving, and there's a lot of support here. So be there for each other. There's a song, was it Taylor Dane or something? I am your shelter. But like love can be a shelter of sorts if you truly are there with one another. So maybe you can offer that sense of, I can't fix it for you, but this is a safe space. We can figure it out together. So there you go. As we shift into August, things are starting to look much better. There's only one significant challenge, and it really comes around truth and accountability. So the Seven of Swords here, we see like this little dinosaur, and I think it's like a fox here in the foreground. Someone or something that looks like it's much bigger than it is, but it's kind of like making a mountain out of a molehill. So someone might have kept a secret or been afraid to share something, but it does come as like they were afraid of rejection based on this. So if something comes out, and hopefully the partner comes to you, or you go to them and say, I've been meaning and wanting to talk to you about this, but I've been dealing with my own issues of like just trusting myself and self-confidence. And then you share what it is. But I would add to this, you're my best friend, I value you, and I know we can figure out how to solve this. Then you share it. Then you've set yourself up. If your partner says something, you can say, I'm really surprised that this didn't come up sooner, but I'm glad you told me now. Please know that in the future, I want to know this sooner. Set an expectation, create a boundary, but give them the sense that it's safe and that you're not going to you can't change the past, but please, this can't happen again. We talked about this. You get a second chance, but you set the parameters over what that second chance looks like, okay? The only other thing that I'm seeing here could be an ex or a family member. The Three of Cups coming through. It came through in the block position. It's in the past. But sometimes, especially if there's children from a previous marriage or something like that where that person has to come back again, they could actually be that Seven of Swords. And it's just someone who is tricky. Have firm boundaries with that. Family members also count. Could be an in-law, could be, sister or brother or something like that kind of come in and weigh in when they shouldn't. You and your partner have to be on the same page to help deal with that. Okay? For those that are single and looking, can you find something? Yes, actually. I prefer the energy of August to July, but in July, towards the end of July, it looks better. It feels like the beginning. What needs to happen is time, energy, and resources, also health and self-confidence. That's the thing that is throttling or slowing things down a little bit. Towards the end of the month, something comes through. I'm looking at the crab here. It could be a Cancer because it's right by the Magician. So it's not even in the cards here per se, but there could be a Cancer that comes through towards the end of the month. And it will feel right. It won't feel like there's any of these other issues that we've been talking about. Someone from a different group because we have a travel card next to it. So yes, towards the end of July. August looks better. We have a lot of earth energy that keeps coming forth, a little bit of a past life connection, and it feels like overall, I like what I see here. However, with the Seven of Swords here, there may be a little piece. It doesn't feel like it's the end of the world because the world comes before this. It's just something where it's like, I would have liked to know that sooner. Pay attention to if it happens beyond that one time. If it's just a one and done thing, sometimes people have been burned and they're just afraid to put it all out there. But it's a smoke signal. So both months, tread cautiously, focus on you. I do feel a little bit better about the Cancer energy or the water sign that wants to come through. But otherwise, I think it's a better period to focus on personal development and just don't go headfirst into anything. By the way, the secret could be small. Maybe someone's divorced and they just don't want to put it on their profile and they have a kid, and because I see that, and they're just afraid of rejection. But again, it's important for that stuff to be firmly out there, okay? The only thing that might also come through is this, the Three of Cups is someone maybe that doesn't want to get into a long-term relationship because of this. Like, I just came out of something serious. But you can already see the writing on the wall. You want something more, you think they do. So that's something to pay attention to as well. All right. If you are single and happy, it's so much less complicated based on what I was just talking about. Good for you. Travel is coming through. It could be good, a great chance to meet new people. You need to take care of your health and finances. Universal message for everybody. Treat yourself. Focus on school, focus on personal development. That's where the large portion of the energy is going, and it comes back, several times over. So that's good. It's a great time for personal development. And also spiritual development too. Okay? Now you have a chance to look at one last question, one last card. It can be anything that you still need some advice on. Let's go ahead, give the cards a shuffle, and see what Spirit has to say. All right. We have a great card coming through here. The Emperor appeared, and this is a definite yes. In the upright position, it does carry with it a couple of connotations. First, accountability. The buck stops with you. So if you want something, move forward with that sense of, I know who I am, I know what I need to do, and I own up to my mistakes. This is actually going to help you clear out any of that Seven of Swords. Because the one thing that Seven of Swords, Five of Swords, and Devil energy hates is honesty and accountability. So when you emanate it, you actually push away the shadows. If there's something that needs to be done, you are the best one to do it. This reminds me of King Arthur with Excalibur. I think that's what it is. He's got, basically he's pulling the sword out. And that's kind of what justice was doing here. Something wasn't right before, but now we have the Emperor coming through and righting the wrong. So we have a nice sort of bookend to everything that we've talked about today, which basically is showing me that all that you've been working towards, it's going to be possible here. We see stability, empowerment, and clarity. And I think that's a great note to end on, Taurus. All right. Thank you so much. I really have enjoyed reading from this perspective, seeing 2 months at a time. It helps you see the ups and the twists and the turns and the downs all together so that you can make the best choice possible. If you happen to enjoy this reading, and I certainly hope you did, do me a favor, hit subscribe if you're new, or if you've been watching for a long time but never subscribed. Hit the like as well. You can opt into as many notifications as you want with the bell. And then below, leave a couple comments, one each month if you'd like to. Let me know what's tracking, how this resonates. I read every comment, and I love to see what's going on with all of you. You can also put a sticker in the comments below for a little bit of extra support, or become a channel member. All of these are great ways to kind of give back a little bit more, and I just want to say thanks for that. If you want to make sure that you never miss out on any of the notifications that pop through here on YouTube, you can also follow me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms, nicholasashbaugh.com on Blue Sky. My website, nicholasashbaugh.com, also contains all relevant links, information, and anything else that you might need to know and see. From my heart to yours, wishing you all the best in the month ahead. Thanks for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. See you soon.